slavery. This week's Torah portion talks about slavery. It talks about the idea of a Jewish person who either they stole and they were not able to pay back the debt of what they stole, so they need to be sold as a slave to repay their debt, or someone who willingly goes and sells themselves as a slave. And the halacha, the Jewish law, says that they have to work for 6 years, and in the 7th year they go free. What is the spiritual reasoning behind this? Really, we are not supposed to be slaves. We are God's servants. How could we go and enslave ourselves to other people? How did someone fall to such a level that they became a slave? It's because they are lacking in da'at, that's knowledge. They fell under the aspect of time. So they are being ruled by time. And this concept is going to come up. What's the idea of being ruled by time? That they're under the dominion of their desires. They're not ruling over their desires. Their desires are controlling them. Nowadays, what's a common term for this? Addiction. An addict is a slave to their desires, so they are not ruling their time is ruling them. So this person who sold himself as a slave, we really have to have compassion on them. So we let them work for 6 years. Why 6 years? 6 years correspond to the 6 days of creation, the 6 days of the week. What is the 7th year? The 7th year corresponds to the 7th day, which is Shabbat. Shabbat, they go free. Shabbat is called Me'ein Olam Haba. It's kind of like a miniature aspect of the world to come, which is above time. This is kind of going out of our addictions, going above time, reaching to a level where we are completely in control. And we said that the 6 days of the week are corresponding to the 6 attributes, the emotional attributes, which starts with kindness, justice, mercy, victory. The next one is hod, the ability to withstand things. And then you have yesod, which is the connection. So the 7th we said is malchut, which is Shabbat, which is connected to faith. So you would think that the 6 attributes are higher. How are they higher than Shabbat though? Because they come before malchut. So how could it be? He says this is the high level of Shabbat. The 6 attributes are really da'at. They are the knowledge. And this is the tiferet, the glory, which has all the 6 midot, the 6 attributes. Shabbat really gives energy to those 6 midot, those 6 attributes, from a way higher place, which Shabbat is receiving the energy from. And Malchut, the royalty, is receiving the energy from. What is this higher energy of Shabbat? It's a knowledge of, it's called Tachlit HaYedi'ah Shelo Neda. It's reaching a highest level of knowledge that we realize that we don't even know anything. That's really the highest level of knowledge, when we understand that we are so far from the truth of God that we really don't know anything. And that's what King Solomon says. He says, Amarti achakma v'hi rechoka mimeni. I said, I'm going to understand this, I'm going to have knowledge of this, but really was distant from me. So Shabbat, the faith, is really illuminating in a very powerful way. We really attain this complete faith on Shabbat. And on Shabbat, like we said, is a Me'ein Olam Haba. It's a miniature illumination of the world to come. We're going above time. We are reaching higher levels. Through getting that high level of knowledge called Shleimut Hadat, we can really nullify time. And that's like someone who's, how are they able to defeat their addictions? They're able to go beyond time. They're able to go above their desires. How do we get that in this world? It's very hard. Usually it's only very righteous people can really completely defeat all their desires, go beyond their desires. However, on Shabbat, we all merit this. We can all merit this complete emunah. It's called shleimut ha'emunah, through having this powerful knowledge and wisdom which is illuminating to our souls on Shabbat. And then we know how far we really are from the truth, and we really have this complete emunah, this complete faith. And like we said, through having that complete faith, we can go beyond time, we can go beyond our desires, and we are able to really get in control on Shabbat. And through getting in that control on Shabbat, then we can really bring that down to the week. If we can connect to it on Shabbat, we can connect to that energy during the week. So basically, we're drawing down the holiness of Shabbat to the energy of the 6 days of the week to help us have that faith during the week. So having that faith can help us, like we said, defeat our addictions. It can help us go beyond the pains and the anger and the nonsense and the toil of the week. We can connect to higher energies also during the week, and we'll realize that all of those things are really under time. It's called tachat hazman in Hebrew, and we can go beyond time also during the week by connecting to the energy of Shabbat. So now going back to the concept of that slave who fell into slavery, we only let him be a slave for 6 years, the 6 days of the week. That's the energy of that underneath the time. But on Shabbat, on the 7th year, he has to go free. The 7th year has the connection to that high level of faith which we said before, and then they can go beyond time and they can go beyond their slavery and they become free. So may we all become free. May we all experience this freedom during the week, not just during Shabbat. We want to experience that during the week where we're getting in control of ourselves and we are not being controlled by our desires, by our emotions, and all of those things. God bless you all.